There's been no place like home in the Western semis, and the weekend drove home the point. The Admiral with a command performance in Game 4, a career playoff high 36, and John Lucas took it all in stride. The Rockets followed the Spurs lead and stuck it to Sean Kemp and the Sonics twice. Hakeem put together this dream sequence and moved to an 8-block night. He led the way with 24 points. Sonics, a weekend of playoff frustration in Texas. In the East, Patrick Ewing again shouldered the load, but it was a flip of the wrist that gave the Knicks Game 4 in Charlotte. With the game tied at 92, Rolando Blackman took aim from 20 feet and was dead solid perfect. With just a few ticks to play, Muggsy's last-ditch drive brought silence to the Hive. Knicks 3-1. The conference semis continue tonight on TNT. The Cavs are down and just about out. In 3 games with the Bulls, Cleveland has been out of sync and in danger of being swept away by the defending champs. Michael Jordan has bounced back from ankle and wrist injuries to keep the Bulls perfect in the postseason, 6-0. You know what they say, no sprain, no gain. The playoffs continue next on TNT. Right back at you with more NBA playoff hoops on TNT. Good evening, everybody. Ernie Johnson in our Atlanta studio. The Eastern Conference playoff picture came into sharper focus over the weekend. The Knicks, with Pat Riley earning Coach of the Year honors today, take a 3-1 lead into Game 5 with the Hornets tomorrow night in New York, while the Bulls, up 3-0 on the Cavs, can wrap up the series with a win in the game you are about to see. And here to bring us his playoff insights and enjoy the most exciting 2 days of his life, the Pacers' Reggie Miller. How many times you reckon you've played Michael Jordan, Rich?
I'd say about 30 times, and it's sad to say that I'm 28-2 against him.
Does it ever get any easier from night to night?
The older he gets, the better he gets.
So you can relate with the Cavs and what they're going through now?
Oh, they're very frustrated. Not too many people are going to stop Michael Jordan. People are failed to realize that the only one who is going to stop Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan, and it's playoff time, and he excels at this time.
Yeah, no stopping him at this point. Let's take a look at the Western Conference, too. Both series there are 2-2, and concentrate on the Suns and Spurs, because Antoine Carr is now out indefinitely for San. Larry Smith, Mr. Mean, playing him in the second half. Charles didn't take many shots. Let's listen to him.
I thought that, I was disappointed I only got one shot in the third quarter because I don't think Larry Smith can guard me, but I would like to get the ball more than one time. That really pissed me off, too.
I take that to mean that he's upset about that.
Justifiably so. All year, the Suns have been going to Charles Barkley. That's why they had the best record in the league. And now come playoff time, I think everyone's trying to be a hero, and they fail to realize why they're in the position they're in.
Play resumes in the Western Conference tomorrow. Tonight, the only game in town, Bulls and Cavs. We'll send you to Richfield Coliseum to Gary Bender and Goose Givens right after this.
For an Eastern Conference semifinal between the two-time defending world champion Chicago Bulls and the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Bulls one victory away from a sweep, and Michael Jordan has strapped the Bulls on his back and has taken Chicago to 6 straight playoff wins in '93. He's thinking three-peat. Tonight, he'll face a team in desperation of the Cavs, down 3-0, knowing full well no team in NBA history has ever rallied from such a deficit. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Bender along with Jack Givens. And Jack, the Cleveland Cavaliers are haunted by the Chicago Bulls. If they lose tonight, this will be the 4th time in 6 years they've been knocked out of the playoffs. That's exactly what Michael Jordan is planning. He says we're going to take care of business, we're going to get the sweep, we're going to get healthy and go to the Eastern Conference Final.
Well, why not believe the guy? I mean, he's been right on every game in this series. He has found a different motivation every time out. Tonight's motivation, get through this series, protect that wrist, get home and get some days off before the series moves on to the next round.
Well, I tell you, Jack, the Cavs are really struggling with the Bulls' defense. They're averaging 22 points less a game than they did in the regular season.
Yeah, and a couple reasons for that, Gary. I'll tell you what, the first thing is Chicago has been tremendous in pressuring the ball up the floor, taking it out of the hands of Mark Price, forcing other people to run the offense. The other thing they have done that has worked very well for them, their pressing, trapping defense in the half court has forced the Cavs to use a lot of time on the shot clock, and they've taken low percentage shots.
All right, Jack, who's got the step forward for the Cavs tonight for their season not to end?
Well, it continues to be Brad Daugherty. I think he is the guy that carried this team all season, had big numbers during the regular season. You see his production is way down here in this series. He is going to have to pick it up, get up to around 30 points here tonight, and lead this team to a win.
All right, this is a desperation game for the Cavs. The Bulls, on the other hand, have their broom out. They're ready for a sweep. Goose and I'll be back with introduction to the starting lineup in just a moment. Coliseum, game 4 between the Bulls and Cavs. 3 games to none. The Bulls lead it. Here's tonight's Jeep Eagles starting lineup, and for the second game in a row, Gerald Wilkins will get a starting call for Cleveland.
Well, they're going to try to give Gerald a chance once again to get off against Michael right from the beginning. Of course, that has been a good matchup. Gerald Wilkins will have to play him once again. Always a problem. Pippen and Horace Grant getting to the offensive boards.
You see the winning percentage for Phil Jackson. That's the highest ever. Here's a beleaguered coach, Lenny Wilkins. A lot of criticism here locally. Many people feel they lose tonight, his job is in real jeopardy. The 3 officials, Dick Bavetta, Bill Oakes, and Eddie F. Rush. And the Richfield Coliseum, possibly the final game of the season. It's up to Scottie Pippen. Pippen with that brilliant game in Game 3 with 28 points. B.J. Armstrong, who's been brilliant defensively against Mark Price, off to Michael Jordan. Cartwright turnaround, rebound by Craig Elo.
Well, this game tonight will be decided in the first 10 minutes or so of this ball game. Cleveland is going to have to come out. They're going to have to be aggressive. They're going to have to make shots, do everything that they did during the regular season, and show Chicago that they're going to be right in this game.
Tell you, Phil Jackson feels that the Cavaliers, as he put it, are going to throw the kitchen sink at his team. Start out emotionally. They're hustling now. Gerald Wilkins over Cartwright, gets it. He feels if they can weather this, keep it close, get it where they want it late in the ball game, they can close this one out.
Plus, Cleveland, one of those teams that are a whole lot better if they're able to get the lead, get out in front, although they did have a lead in Game 3 and Chicago came back.
Michael Jordan missing out. It comes to Brad Daugherty. You saw B.J. Armstrong pick up Mark Price. Elo on the move, and that is going to be a blocking foul.
I think that play right there shows you that Michael wants to protect that wrist. He did not draw the charge where he would have to go down on the floor. He continues to back away. Watch right here. He had good position. Had he gone down to the floor, this call would have probably gone the other way. Michael backed off wanting to protect that wrist.
Michael, in a shoot-around, shot left-handed, and he lost a shoot-around to Scottie Pippen, and he wasn't happy about it, even though he was shooting left-handed. But that was a good point, Jack. He was protecting the wrist, and as an end result, ended up with a blocking foul. Elo is able to get 1 of 2, 3-0 Cleveland with the early advantage. They don't like the Bulls here, do they? They boo every time Michael gets it, and collectively, for that matter.
And unfortunately, it's those kinds of things that get Michael more fired up, so it might work against him once again.
B.J. Armstrong, who's been in double figures 5 of 6 playoff games, kisses that one off the glass, and the Bulls are on the board.
And we'll keep an eye on how Price and B.J. Armstrong work against each other. B.J. Armstrong face guards Price everywhere they go, and you see the problem Cleveland has getting into their offense without Price handling the ball.
Here's Larry Nance coming off with a strong performance, 11 of 12 in the game Saturday, and it's a 5-2 lead for the Cavaliers. Nance has been so consistent throughout his career. That ball was touched by Cleveland. With 18 seconds on the shot clock, the Bulls will inbound. B.J. quietly having his finest playoff of his career.
Well, a couple of underlying things for Chicago that has made a huge difference in this series. One, B.J. Armstrong and the job he has done on Mark Price.
Michael Jordan using that wrist. It's very sore, and that's what they do so well is hit the offensive boards. Horace Grant getting the follow.
And Nance might just have to stay at home here in this game tonight. He is the guy that always is there to help, always goes for the block, and it's Grant who is the best at going to the offensive end.
Elo is able to use the cut inside. Daugherty follows. Brad Daugherty's numbers down from his regular season numbers, even though he did have good numbers in the first round against the New Jersey Nets.
Yeah, 25 of 30 points is what Brad needs to give them here tonight.
7-4 the Cavs. Horace Grant, whose ankle now has really shrunk. It was swollen badly after he injured it in the first game, and Scotty hitting from outside, a 2. It's a 1-point game.
Well, I just like the way Scotty has picked up his game since Michael has been injured. They needed someone to step up, and he did that.
Elo dunking around Michael Jordan, kicks it back outside. Wilkins not able to get it. Jordan on the rebound. Beautiful pass to Pippen. Oh, was that something?
Now that's the problem right there with the Cavs going small. Elo has to match up against Pippen.
B.J. Armstrong, who is shadowing Mark Price each time he comes up the floor, is called for the foul. Mark Price is absolutely covered every second out there by B.J. Armstrong. He's taken all the passing lanes down, as you said, has not allowed Mark to handle the ball where he used to in the regular season.
He's forcing other people to get the Cavs into their offense. Brad has to take that. Yes, he has to take that shot tonight.
Well, that's what you said. He's got to step forward, and maybe that's the beginning. 9-8, the Cavs by 1. Daugherty 2 of 2. Bill Cartwright turns around and gets it to go, and Cartwright has been averaging over 8 rebounds in this series, and he does give Daugherty fits defensively, and they're going to have an elbowing foul that time.
I was going to make that point because Price feels as though he has to push B.J. Armstrong off, and that time he stopped, forced the contact, and picked up the foul.
Jack, what's happening here is the Cavs have gotten so much flack about being soft, and I think they're trying to show here early that they're going to draw the line.
Well, you just have to hope that it's not too late. I mean, this is something that they've been calling for here the whole series.
Cartwright on another fine assist for Michael Jordan. Jordan early with 2 beautiful passes, and it's 12-9, the Bulls with the lead. Here's Wilkins and Scottie Pippen playing the tough D on him. Boy, this defense has really been something for the Bulls. They've been holding the Cavaliers just over 86 points a game. Now that's on an 8-2 run right now.
Now that's the way you play that pick and roll right there. You saw Grant step way out there to force Elo back the other way.
Elo with 4 seconds on the shot clock, able to get it. Pippen, that's thrown away. He had Jordan's crossing, and then Armstrong in the corner could hit either one of them.
Well, Jordan went back the other way thinking Pippen was going to take it on to the hole.
Cavaliers are the best shooting team in the NBA, field goal-wise, free throw-wise, three-point shooting, but all those numbers are down in the playoffs. They went to 5 games of the Nets. A lot of people feel it took a lot out of their ball club. Price with a 3 from outside.
Well, he used the screen down on the low post that time and freed himself up. B.J. Armstrong never did catch up.
Price is 4 of 10 in the series prior to that 3, so that's his 5th tray against the Bulls. Nice cut inside Pippen. This is the easy shot. Daugherty brings it out now to Price. The Elo off balance. Good positioning that time by Horace Grant. Pippen to Jordan. Jordan takes it to the hole with the left hand. And a foul.
And they're going to call that a flagrant foul. So Michael will get 2 free throws, and then the Bulls will get the ball out of bounds.
So Daugherty is shocked. He can't believe it. He just now found out that it's a flagrant foul. We'll be back. It's all even at 12. 6:40 to go in the first.
Brad Daugherty is going to pick up the flagrant foul on this play. He was upset, but watch how he plays Michael here. Does not even leave the floor and pushes him right in the chest. I think that's a good call. 2 things. Number 1, Brad Daugherty was going for the contact. One of the few times in this series that Michael Jordan was contested as he took the ball to the basket. Next time Brad leaves the floor, goes for the block, that kind of contact will just put Michael on the line for two free throws.
2 free throws and the ball out of bounds as Jordan will go to the line. Crowd not very happy about that development, but your point well taken, Goose. If he had gone up and attempted to block it, quite possibly he would not have gotten a flagrant foul.
Well, you know, I like what I saw out of Brad that time to an extent, because he did at least go at Michael, put a body on Michael, and now Michael will at least be thinking about that when he takes the ball to the basket. I've seen every game in this series, and I can count on about 3 fingers the times Michael has been fouled taking the ball to the basket.
And I'm sure the Cavs are tired of hearing and reading about the fact that they have not been a physical team. Here's Jordan ducking inside. He lost it.
But that's the point right there. Now, Michael, you saw him hesitate, taking the ball to the basket. I don't know if he was thinking about that foul Brad just gave him, but maybe he was.
Well, he still may be thinking about that wrist to it. Away from the ball now, Bill Cartwright is called for a foul. That'll be his first. I think what we saw in the game Saturday is Michael slowly eased into the game. He's not doing that tonight. He's taking off right away, trying to use that right wrist and hand.
Well, you know, he wants to close this thing out. He'll take more of the load tonight as he did in game 1.
Price able to shake B.J. Armstrong. Alina not there. Jordan has it stripped by Wilkins. Wilkins can't get it. And finally, Horace Grant brings it down. Pippen in the corner to B.J.
He's been there the whole series.
And B.J., who led the NBA in three-point percentage this year, misses that one. Nice breakout for Wilkins.
Good job by Gerald Wilkins. Just ran the floor, outran everyone that time.
And the Cavs have a one-point lead. 5:48 to go in the first. Armstrong into Pippen. Craig Elo bodying him. Pippen with a turnaround spin. Rebound Jordan. That's already 5 rebounds for Brad.
Yeah, it's going to be so important for the Cavs to get up just one shot at the basket every time down for Chicago.
Rice trying to shake Armstrong. Doing a pretty good job now using those picks. Elo from outside. Rebound by Jordan. And Jordan using the left hand.
Oh, it's so nice to be able to do that with either hand. It's so nice.
It is something special. 15-14 Chicago. Michael wants to close it out, as we said, get some rest and get ready then for that Eastern Conference Final, which will begin on Sunday. Doherty backing in on Cartwright, and Brad short with a hook. Grant with another rebound. Boy, Grant's doing an excellent job on the boards.
Always does. He always does for Chicago.
Wilkins, who's been labeled as the Jordan stopper, but finds out there's no such thing. As it now comes off of Pippen, here is Mark Price. Both these teams are number 1 and 2 in the NBA this year for turnovers. Fewest turnovers. Off to Nance.
Nice. Brad Doherty, the number 1 passing center in the league. Finds Elo.
Yes, sir. He's led all centers in assists 6 of the last 7 years. Averaged 4.4 in the regular season. Numbers are pretty close to that in the playoffs.
I like the way the Cavs have come out defensively here in this game before that trip to the paint by Michael, but at least they have forced Chicago out further in the floor to start their offense, and it makes it a little bit more difficult.
For Jordan now with the right hand that time, and Wilkins able to answer at the other end. They love this guy's arrogance, Gerald Wilkins. He brings some toughness to the ball club, and that's the reason he started the last 2 playoff games instead of Mike Sanders.
And they're going to try to bring some more people in here during the offseason with that kind of attitude, try to toughen this team up.
And it goes now to Cartwright. Bill Cartwright averaging 20.5 minutes in the playoffs. He and Doherty entangled a little bit. Bill with a leaner. Doherty trying to draw the foul. No whistle. The shot goes as the shot clock expires. 19-18, the Bulls. Wilkins at the other end. And so now Gerald Wilkins has 8 points in the ballgame.
Gerald 1 on 3 that time. Just took it right to the hole, right to the paint, and got the little jump shot to go.
He is 4 of 6. A little pressure now by the Cavs. Horace Grant gets it. I think it's remarkable that Horace Grant had that severely sprained ankle in game 1, came back in game 2, never missed a free throw, never missed a field goal, and scored 20 points. Not bad, huh?
That's not bad at all. He said in that game, I want to be like Mike, he said.
A lot of people want to be like Mike.
He came out and played on that bad ankle.
The tongue is flapping as Jordan misses. Grant inside, and he's fouled. Horace Grant this year had 341 offensive rebounds. That's 4 short of the record he set a year ago for the Chicago Bulls. We have a break in the action. The Bulls by 1.
Wrist, so what do? You take it to the hole with your left hand. Not everybody can do that, but Michael once again makes it look easy. But I think the Cavs playing with a lot of hustle, a lot of enthusiasm, the way they have to play, and you see it right here as Brad Doherty finds Larry Nance. Nance takes it to the hole just as aggressively, and to this point, the Cavs have matched Chicago's enthusiasm.
Cleveland shooting 47%, the Bulls 56%. John Hot Rod Williams now checks into the ball game. And Jordan has 5 points, 3 assists, and Chicago leading in the rebounding department 11-8. There's what Michael has done in this series. For the playoffs, he's averaging 32.7, which is 1/10 below his seasonal average. Pretty consistent.
Yes.
Horace Grant, a 62% free throw shooter during the regular season. He wears those eyeglasses, or prescription eyeglasses, more, of course, to see than for protection, as a lot of the players do in the NBA. And the former Clemson star is giving this Bulls team a 3-point lead, 23-20.
Some full court pressure now coming for Chicago. A back off right here.
Wilkins from the corner. Good. Jay Armstrong up. Pippen lost it. Scramble around. Cartwright can't get it. Good hustle by Larry Nance, but that's nothing unusual. And he missed an easy one. And he'll try to reload it, and it's going to be off of Cleveland. Great effort, though, by Larry Nance.
Yeah, he works the offensive boards well also. He missed a little jump shot, but Cleveland doing what they have to do. They have to find a way to get more shots at the basket because their field goal percentage is down in this series.
Larry Nance has averaged 17 points in the series against Chicago. Pippen from outside. Nance boxing off. We're going to have a loose ball foul, as Nance had time trying to screen his way out, has picked up the foul. And obviously the sellout here at the Richfield Coliseum didn't like that call.
Well,
now wait a minute.
Yeah, they changed it, calling it on Grant. I saw him put up 5 and a 4. I said, that's not Larry Nance's numbers.
No,
he signaled it was going to stay right on that end, which indicated that it was against Larry Nance. It was not.
So it is on Horace Grant, and Nance pleading his case. I didn't think you'd ever help your cause out there. He may have there. 23-20. 3-point lead now for Chicago.
I know exactly what Nance said. If I can't screen out, what am I going to do against this guy?
Pippen this time screens out at the other end. Has the defensive board. Scottie Pippen will pull up. He's missed 2 now. He's left him short both times on the rim. Gerald Wilkins on the breakout. 3-on-2. The hot rod. And he's fouled by Michael Jordan. That will be his second.
And you know exactly what the crowd wants right here. Brad Daugherty got hit with a foul similar to that, and it was intentional, or judged intentional and flagrant. They want it called the same way here as John Williams gets to the basket. Nice pass by Wilkins.
Hot Rod Williams, a guy who hasn't really stepped up in this playoff series. He's averaging 6.7 points and only shooting 38% from the field. And he has been such a good 6th man for the Cavaliers, missing that free throw.
Yeah, he's been very vocal about his lack of playing time in the playoffs in the series here this season. Normally, he plays a lot of minutes for Cleveland, 14 points a game coming into this playoff series over his career. But his numbers are down because his minutes are down. He feels he will not be with this team. One of the guys that will be traded is John Williams, I think.
Well, there's a lot of guys here in the paper saying they're not going to be with this team possibly next year. Craig Elo will become a free agent at the end of this season. And there's talk of trades that could be brewing. We'll see. Jordan backing down with 6 seconds on the shot clock to Horace Grant. Bulls are getting some good shots, but they're not going.
Well, other people taking the shots in Michael Jordan.
And blocked by Grant. Grant strips Wilkins of the ball.
Oh, a lot of contact on that one.
And Price hustles back and breaks up the break down the floor.
Well, Lenny Wilkins about jumped on the official that time. Now let's see if there's any contact. Yeah, a lot of body contact. And that's what Lenny wanted. That's what Gerald Wilkins wanted. Neither got their wish on that play.
And Wilkins stayed underneath that basket for some time. Here he goes. He's going to try it again. To Price, to Daugherty. Nice ball handling by the Cavaliers.
Yeah, nice fast break. The team that led the league in assists, Cleveland, everyone on this ball club can pass.
It's even to 23. It's in now to Stacey King, who's checked into the ball game. Bulls have 4 centers, all 4 different kinds of ability. Jordan has a rejected, tries again, and again the Bulls are leaving a lot of shots short here in this first quarter.
Well, you got to credit the Cleveland defense so far in this game. They are playing very, very well.
Hot Rod is going to be fouled by Scott Williams.
The officials are allowing them to play here. You'll see Michael get to the paint and watch the block. Larry Nance Gets it right here, and then Michael's going to fall away. That right hand just not there yet. Started out game 3 that way and finally loosened it up. Finally started to follow through on his jump shots, and he got him to go in the second half.
Rod Williams at the free throw line. Coming into the ball game now is Terrell Brandon, who did not play in the game Saturday because of a sprained ankle. And they're glad to have him back because Mark Price had to play 45 minutes in the game Saturday, and that's just too many minutes.
Yeah, Mark tired down the stretch. Did not have Brandon to come to in that game. The real problem for Cleveland with the bigger lineup is they had to work against the quickness of Chicago, and Chicago forced a lot of turnovers when they had Elo and Wilkins in the backcourt together.
John Paxson, Trent Tucker have checked in for Chicago as both benches now starting to come into this ball game in the first quarter with 26 seconds left in the first stanza. Here's John Paxson. 1 second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Tucker's been shooting very poorly in this series, but you always have to respect his range. Here he goes. This will be a 2 by Tucker. Won't go. Stacey King, a push-off. They get him for the foul with 2.4 seconds left in the quarter.
Another part of Brad Daugherty's game that has been down here in the playoffs, and especially in this series, is his trips to the free throw line. He has not been getting there nearly enough. Of course, he has not been aggressively pursuing his opportunities to score. The reason for that, but he gets 2 free throws here.
And he had a career high this year, percentage-wise from the free throw line. He shot 80%. And this team shot 80%, which was best in the NBA. As Craig Elo comes in, Larry Nance will go down with 2.4 left in the quarter. Brad Daugherty, 5th All-Star game this year, most in Cavs history. He's led this team in scoring and rebounding the last 3 years. 2.4. Jordan will try one at the buzzer, and we have played 12 minutes here at the Richfield Coliseum. The Cavs end this quarter on a 7-0 run. They lead it 27-23. Here along with Jack Gibbons, Game 4 in this Eastern Conference semifinal. Game 1 was won by the Bulls when Jordan had 43 points. Game 2, they just crushed the Cavs. Horace Grant, despite the sprained ankle. And then Game 3, Pippen with 28 points, which is 10 over his season average as they're 3-0.
Yeah, each game a new player stepped up. Now Michael Jordan in Game 3 played very well also, so you have to add him in there as well. But really every game for Chicago has been a different story for that team. Everyone seems to have stepped up, played well. The Cavs obviously need that to happen for them.
In the first quarter, both teams, identical shooting percentages, 42%, 10 of 24. Jordan was 2 of 7 in that first quarter and looked a little tentative. And the Cavs throw it away.
Well, see, that's the time that you have to shoot that one. You're right there with your head under the basket. Of course, John Williams, a good jumper. He can get up over the defense down there. He has to take that shot.
Second turnover for Cleveland. Chicago with 4. Pippen inside. Rod Williams got a piece of it. Out it comes to Wilkins. Boy, he's getting out quickly, isn't he? Trent Tucker tries to stop him. The basket will count, and Tucker has committed the foul.
Now, this is the kind of enthusiasm you have to play with. You have to be aggressive. You have to attack the basket. Gerald Wilkins, since Game 1, has not shot the ball well. There's the block right there by Williams. It gets the fast break started, and Gerald Wilkins a couple of times has challenged 3 guys. You see 3 red shirts around him right there. He draws the foul and gets the shot to go.
Boy, he's been pushing it, hasn't he?
Yes,
he's been seemingly breaking down the floor every time that they have had any kind of a breakout at all.
Now, the one theme that Cleveland has prepared for on this game is pride. Are we going to allow these guys to get 4 in a row, or are we going to step up and show these fans that we are capable of playing?
Stacey King is fouled by Larry Nance, the left-hander taking it inside, and Nance committing his second foul. Well, Lenny Wilkins told us this morning, I must admit, Lenny Wilkins didn't look very good this morning. He said, we want to play hard. We have our pride at stake, as you were just mentioning. He says, if we go down, we want to go down playing hard.
And I think really that's all the fans can ask for. I tell you, one thing that we have failed to mention is the fact that Chicago as a team is playing very, very well. I mean, I don't know if Cleveland playing their best basketball can beat Chicago at the level they're playing.
Well, you look at the stats on this Chicago team, and they haven't dropped off. They've picked up.
They have picked up. Every other team has dropped them.
Nance ducking inside the leaner, the 34-year-old, the oldest starting forward in the NBA. So consistent, able to lean in and get that one.
And still led the NBA this year in blocks for forward.
Stacey King, the left-handed jump hook. Williams with the rebound. Now Williams asserting himself on the defensive boards. Here's Nance again. He'll pull up. Doherty fighting for the ball, but taken away by Stacey King. Now that's some of that really infuriates Cavs fans. As somebody goes up, all of a sudden the ball comes out to the other team.
Right. Shot selection, of course, is important.
And it goes again to the pivot area. Scott Williams backing out. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Pippen with 3 from the corner. Rebound by Stacey King, and they're starting to hit the boards. The Bulls really getting the putbacks and the second chance opportunities.
Well, see, Brad Doherty had position that time. There's no way that Stacey King should be able to get the ball over his shoulder that way. I mean, he didn't put the body on, and he allowed the basket after forcing the miss.
Well, the Cavaliers were not a good rebounding team during the regular season. They're -0.8 as we have a foul now. Doherty getting the ball inside and a grabbing foul on Stacey King, his second. So we have 9:49 left to go in this first half. And the Cavs trying to keep their season alive.
Now, Cleveland has done a pretty decent job in this game of making sure Chicago does not get 2 or 3 shots at the basket. But watch Stacey King right here working against Brad Doherty. Now, you're going to see him get pretty good position, but he allows Stacey to just slip right through him that time. Did not put the body on him well. And then look at the shot. You give up the second shot basket right there, and of course, that just takes away from that aggressive defense.
Well, graphically, we're going to show you what's happened thus far. Offensive rebounds, the Bulls 5-4, and second chance points, the Bulls 8-4. So that's exactly what you were just showing just a moment ago. Danny Ferry now is checked into the ball game. Brandon and Price in the backcourt. Hot Rod Williams and Larry Nance. Mark Price, they trap outside. Baseline to Williams, falling down inside with Stacey King. So Hot Rod Williams has come in and has played very hard. He has 5 points in the ball game.
Well, when you're struggling, and he has been from the field, you have to get high percentage shots at the basket. Good way to do that is get on the offensive boards. He got himself 2 easy ones that time.
Andy Ferry now trying to trap Scottie Pippen. Pippen will pull up with 7 seconds on. No, he passed it. I guess that was a pass. Well, Scott Williams got it anyway. Put it away.
We'll call it a pass. I don't know. Maybe.
It worked. Let's put it that way. Harold Brandon now draws a foul from John Paxson as he is in midair. Let's go back. I'll let you determine, Goose.
Well, I'll tell you
what
might have happened here. Danny Ferry might have gotten a hand on it. No, he did not. I think that's a shot that Pippen is hoping he will get credited for an assist.
At the line now is Terrell Brandon. This is a guy that Lenny Wilkins has really started to have a lot of confidence in. He, of course, played collegiately at Oregon in his second year, their first-round draft pick of a year ago. And they missed him Saturday because he is a terrific relief man for Mark Price.
And a lot of people here, surprisingly enough, feel this guy in a starting role could be just as effective as Mark Price. That's why they are talking about moving Price to another team.
Stacey King on a nice feed from Scott Williams. They really broke the pressure down then. Excellent ball handling by Chicago. 35-30. Cavaliers with the lead. This is do or die, a desperation game now for this Cavalier team, down 3 games to none. They want to take it to a game 5, which would be Wednesday in Chicago Stadium.
The Cleveland offense just kind of standing around right here, and that's where their problems have been.
With 3 seconds on the shot clock, they didn't get a very good look, did they?
While they were standing around, the spacing was not real good.
They break out Williams, and that's the Cavaliers' problem sometimes. Transition defense, not getting back, and you've got to get back for Chicago.
Well, normally when you take a low percentage shot, that gives you the numbers going the other way. If you get the rebound, Chicago did that and got the layup.
He's going baseline, and Trent Tucker will commit the foul. That's his second. At the conclusion of tonight's game, Jack Gibbons and I will be selecting the Budweiser player of the game. Goose Gibbons, as he's more familiarly known. Brandon outside. That was the 4th team foul against Chicago. Cleveland with 1 here in the second quarter. There's Pippen with a steal, and he was 10th in the NBA in steals. What a defensive unit they have. 3 guys on the all-defensive team. Pippen and Jordan on the first team and Horace Grant on the second team.
And the only thing you can hope for if you're an opposing team is that those 3 guys don't all come at you at the same time. What?
That's true.
That is called pressure.
Danny Ferry committed the foul. Here is Scottie Pippen. He had a good look. Backs up now.
Well, he hasn't shot the ball well here in this game, so he is a little hesitant about taking that jump shot.
Ferry picks up his second foul in succession here. Brad Daugherty is going to come back into the Cleveland lineup with 7:40 to go in this first half. Well, Scottie Pippen, we mentioned what a brilliant game he had in Game 3. And 28 points, 20 attempts. That first game, really not a Scottie Pippen type game.
Well, he had been struggling a little bit in that Atlanta series leading into this first game, and he wasn't playing with a lot of confidence. You see 10 field goal attempts. He had just 9 points, was really out of sync, but he has gotten progressively better every game.
He is 2 of 9 shooting in this ball game. Earlier we had Jordan 2 of 7. So the 2 All-Stars not shooting well in the early going.
And then you look at the scoreboard and you see that the Bulls are down just 1 point. So that's reason for concern for Cleveland. As you know, those numbers are going to pick up for those 2 guys in the second half.
Despite that shooting, Chicago's on a 6-0 run, and Pippen with another steal.
Well, that's the problem that Danny Ferry has working against the small forward.
Ferry's picked up his 3rd foul, and Scott Williams will go to the free throw line.
I mean, it's tough playing against Pippen always, but his quickness so much more superior than Danny Ferry. Now watch right here. Good hands that time by Pippen. Good anticipation. He got into the passing lane, and then the pass here gets Scott Williams a good look at the basket, and there's a foul.
You know, Jack, you really don't realize how long Scottie Pippen's arms are until you try to pass around him. That's twice now. He's gotten that arm out and has batted it away as Ferry now leaves the ball game with that 3rd foul, and Craig Elo checks in.
Well, you put those long arms together with the quick feet.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why he's in the top 10 every year in steals.
And that's the reason Michael Jordan was such an outstanding defensive player, is his quick feet.
Right.
You watch his feet down from the knees down, and he is a blur at times. Here's some pressure now.
Now this unit on the floor for Chicago not nearly as effective with the full court press as Chicago would be if Michael Jordan and Grant were on the floor now.
But Phil Jackson resting Michael Jordan a lot here in this first half. Daugherty has a strip, but Pippen got part of the ball and part of the hand and part of the body and commits his first foul. Brad Daugherty will go to the line once again.
Brad has to continue to call for the ball and let his teammates know. If you look at Michael, they're sitting on the bench just waiting to come back. Brad has to continue to let his teammates know that he wants the ball in the low post.
One thing that Cleveland hasn't dropped off in is their free throw shooting. They're about where they were in the regular season. Here's what rebounding-wise Brad Daugherty did in the season, and you can see in this series how it's dropped off. First round, he had a very good first round against the Nets. He also averaged almost 21 points a game in that series.
Closer to his seasonal numbers there in that first series. Obviously, they've been down a lot here because of his lack of shot attempts in the first 2 games.
Brad Daugherty now with 10 points in the ball game. Scottie Pippen outside. He goes with 7 seconds on the shot clock. Trent Tucker from the corner, and Tucker can't get it. Boy, he is really struggling. He came in here 2 of 8 in the series, 1 of 5 from 3-point land.
And a better job defensively by Elo that time against Pippen.
Tipped that time by Scott Williams, and coming out of there is Pippen. He seems to come up with every loose ball.
That's about 3 steals already in this game.
And then Brandon doubles him up. Elo picks it up, and they go the other way.
Nice.
Oh, what a pass to Daugherty.
Real nice.
That was something special from Terrell Brandon.
Well, and everyone is running the floor well for Cleveland in their fast break opportunities.
Adds to the 39-35 lead. Backdoor Tucker blocked by Hot Rod Williams. To Brandon. He leaves it short. Daugherty able to rebound. Takes
there
it
you go, Brad.
Foul.
Now that's what Brad needs to do right there. Forget about passing that ball out when you're in the paint. Take it right to the hole.
And the crowd reacting to this little spurt
And it's led by the guy that has to lead this team, Brad Daugherty.
A special catch, thank you.
Cleveland getting a lot of fast break baskets in this game to this point because of their aggressiveness on the defensive end of the floor, forcing the steals and the turnovers, and then getting it out and executing. Good job running the floor by Brad Daugherty this time. Fills the lane, gets the easy two, but it's because of their defense.
And Daugherty off to an excellent start. 12 points, 9 rebounds already in this ball game. Now his high in this series was 16 points and 11 rebounds in the game they played on Saturday. So you talked about the guy having to step forward. Thus far, Goose, he's done that.
Well, I think back to Game 5 of that series with the Nets. 29 points, 20 rebounds Brad Daugherty had in that game. And you knew by watching that game that there was only one leader on the floor for Cleveland, and that was Brad Daugherty. We have not seen that yet until tonight in this series.
That foul a moment ago was on Scottie Pippen, his second. Daugherty kind of short-armed that one up. Another thing is the Cavs getting out on the break and doing a good job converting some turnovers. They've scored 9 points to the Bulls 3 as his Airness, Michael Jordan, back in the ball game. The bionic Michael Jordan. I think he may have strapped on a different wrist on Saturday to get through that game.
Well, he's done it with his ankles. He's done it with his wrists, his hand, his fingers. I mean, he's about the only guy that can do it as quickly and as many times as he does.
Cavaliers with a 5-point lead. 5.5 minutes to go in the first half. Baseline. Pippen with a spin move. Cartwright with a follow. The veteran of 35 years. He is one of those guys who seems to always be in the right place. He has 8 points in the ball game.
And just when the Cavs get something going, Chicago comes back and gets a couple points off the offensive boards.
Cartwright really gives Daugherty a lot of trouble with sharp elbows and his positioning defensively. And Wilkins, who's played very hard, has 12 points in the ball game. 42-37 Cleveland. I think that people get tired of booing every time Michael gets the ball.
Well, you would think it because he touches it about every time down for Chicago.
10 seconds on the shot clock. Jordan trying to duck in Elo. Look at that little change. He just left Elo on his heels, and it's all he needed to get the open shot.
I'll tell you what, Elo played him pretty well that time. Would not let him get the baseline, get to the basket, and force him into a much tougher shot.
Daugherty and Cartwright banging bodies inside. 8 seconds on the shot clock.
Elo needs to move. He needs to take Michael Jordan out of it.
2 seconds on the shot clock. Daugherty can't get it. Elo with the offensive board. Out it comes to Wilkins.
Nice. You work the offensive boards, you're going to get good things to happen. Craig, Elo with the offensive rebound that time. I said Elo needed to move because Michael Jordan was just waiting to get back to double team on Brad. He makes the sharp cut to the basket. Michael has to stay at home.
Wilkins 7 of 11 shooting. This is his second playoff game he started. That was a good move by Lenny Wilkins to get him in the starting 5 as Grant misses, and here's Elo again. He is such a good complement to Mark Price in the backcourt. Good standstill shooter, he being Craig Elo. 3:52 left in the first half. You see Pippen respects his range. We'll take it inside. Cartwright with the rebound. Wilkins with the steal. Gerald Wilkins.
Nice.
Daugherty.
Good passing. Good view of the floor. Gerald Wilkins has been making the shots, so you have to come out and play him, and he has found the open people.
7-point lead for Cleveland. And Gerald Wilkins is one of the big reasons. He has played inspired basketball in this first half. 3:30 to go until halftime.
Craig Elo playing very inspired basketball right now, trying to accept the challenge, and although Michael Jordan makes this jump shot, you see how well he played Michael that time. And then on the other end, he is putting the pressure on Michael himself. Watch the offensive board work here. That's going to set up his teammate for a basket. Gerald Wilkins knocks it down from the outside. That's a good job there by Elo on both ends.
And as an end result, the Cavaliers have their biggest lead of the ball game, 7. Cleveland has 11 points on the turnovers. Chicago with 3. That's one way to negate that Chicago defense. Michael Jordan trying to shake Gerald Wilkins. 3:23 to go until halftime. Jordan the foul away. Rebound Elo. Wilkins released and was down the floor. Elo thought about going to him. Wilkins is hustling.
Yeah, he's working hard. That was a good decision. Just hold it up.
Elo backing in on B.J. Armstrong. A little mismatch there. I think B.J. got a piece of that. Doherty, they have a fresh 24 seconds.
Craig Elo once again on the offensive boards. Knocked that one out of it.
That's 5 rebounds now for Craig Elo. They double on Brandon. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Hot rod from the corner.
Tough shot that time.
Here comes Michael creating. He tried to pass it into Grant. Deflected. Here's Brad Doherty. And Michael hustling, but Brad getting it anyway.
Cleveland creating a lot of shots with their defense.
And we're going to have a 20-second timeout by Chicago. A 12-4 run right now for Cleveland. And Cleveland right now, they want to play another day.
No, they're playing like they want to, and this is the kind of effort that this crowd here has wanted from this team this entire series. They're creating a lot of shots off of their defense. They are just hustling. Watch the hands. Now, you see a lot of hands in the passing lane. Brad Doherty, that time, knocked that one down, and Gerald Wilkins with the nice speed. I thought Michael would outrun Brad this time. Brad kept his composure, and he'll knock this one down.
Brad Doherty's had an outstanding first half. 17 points. Wilkins with 14. So they've been the 1-2 punch for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And there's the points on turnovers. It's even mounted to 2 more. 13-3.
Right.
Wilkins with the tough assignment to try to stay with MJ. Cartwright had a notion. 9 seconds on the shot. Got Pippen and Elo really colliding inside. Pippen turnaround, and Scottie Pippen is having a tough time getting the shot to drop. Finally gets one there. He has 6 points.
But Chicago had to work for that one. They played the pick and roll by Michael Jordan very well. Brad Doherty stepped all the way out, would not allow Michael to turn the corner.
7-point lead for the Cavaliers. Inside 2 minutes now in this first half.
And this is the problem Cleveland ran into a lot. The shot clock now down within 5.
And they're not going to get a very good shot, obviously. Wilkins didn't even hit the rim, so the shot clock has expired. And that was what was happening so often in previous games in this series.
Right, Cleveland started standing around a little bit. Someone else other than the point guard had to bring the ball up the floor, and then they struggled to get in their offense.
Coming up at halftime, the Reebok Halftime Report. Ernie Johnson in our Atlanta studios with Reggie Miller of the Pacers. They'll have a recap of the first half. And Reggie will talk about something he knows a great deal about, Reggie Miller. Now, I used to work with his sister Cheryl. Now, I understand Cheryl Miller used to half-court beat Reggie Miller. I want to know if this is really true or if that's just what Cheryl used to tell me.
I think Reggie used to tell that story also. I'd like to see that now. The guy can fill it up.
He and Dan Marley tied for 3 points made as Wilkins reaches in and commits the foul. I love the efforts of Gerald Wilkins. He has that intensity that the Cavs so desperately need as he sends Jordan to the line.
Well, Gerald has changed his tune just a little bit since before the first game of this series. Trying to play down the matchup between himself and Michael Jordan. He's saying that it's not the Michael Jordan, Gerald Wilkins show, it's the Cavs against the Bulls. And he understands that he alone will not be able to stop Michael. He's getting much better help on him tonight, and Michael has not put up the big numbers to this point.
Well, he put up 43 against him in game 1. And as Michael said after the game, when I'm on, nobody can stop me, and I believe it. Now, that ball was off of B.J. Nice heads-up play by Brandon, who kicked it off of him when he was in trouble.
But you look at the aggressiveness of that trap. That's Scottie Pippen coming at you now. There's 4 seconds to get the ball up the floor, as there are 18 seconds left on the shot clock.
4 seconds across that 10-second line. That does it, doesn't it? They'll get it across in a hurry. Here's Doherty outside. Brandon getting a lot of minutes in this first half after missing game 3. Foul away. Foul on B.J. Armstrong.
And no signs of that hurt ankle in this game. That game he missed the last time out, the first game of his career that he has missed.
Second foul on B.J. Armstrong, sending Brandon to the line, an 83% free throw shooter in the regular season. Looking ahead, a doubleheader tomorrow on TNT. Charlotte, New York, the Knicks. What a battle they've had with the Hornets, leading that series 3-1. San Antonio and Phoenix now even at 2-2. I'll tell you, Charlotte has earned some respect, haven't they, in that series with the Knicks?
Yeah, I think what Charlotte has done in this series will really help them next season. I mean, they have grown up so much. All that young talent, and it's just going to make them awfully tough in the years to come.
Youngest team in the playoffs, and they've grown up in a hurry. A minute left now in the first half. Pippen goes around Doherty, and Nance that'll count. And the foul will go on Nance.
Was that Michael? No, that's Scottie Pippen, wasn't it?
Ball is on Larry Nance. That'll be a
He's been around Michael too much.
Oh, man.
Jerry Johnson,
Tough shot. Watch right here. Now, he's going to shoot this with his back to the basket. There's the contact. And he lets it go, makes it look easy. Very much Michael Jordanish.
That's the third foul on Larry Nance of significance, obviously, with 57.4 seconds left in the half.
You know, one real problem in Game 3 was that Cleveland built a 13-point lead, and before the half was over, Chicago was down just 3 points. And I think that stretch that they made right before the end of that first half was the difference in the game.
Boy, they're coming after him right now, full court. Scottie Pippen now with 11 points. Wilkins off to Williams. They swing it around.
Cleveland needs to continue to score.
You can see why they're so good at forcing turnovers as Grant now finishes at the other end. And all of a sudden what you were talking about is starting to happen here. A 3-point lead now for Cleveland.
Yeah, see, they wanted to go into the locker room with a 7 or 8 point lead. And now it's down to 3. Could go down even less than that if they don't score some points here.
What great defense the Bulls are playing right now. Nance gets swarmed and fouled in the corner. We mentioned they've been holding the Cavaliers to 22 points under their seasonal average, 86.3.
Larry Nance shooting 2.
That foul on Horace Grant, his second. Nance, 2 free throws coming. When you look at their defense, the fact that they had this year an average of 98.9 in the regular season, and usually when you get to the playoffs, you never know what's going to happen, but they've decreased that even more since they've gotten in here. Every one of their numbers seemingly has improved. They forced almost 17 turnovers a game in the regular season.
Yeah, they have played very well defensively as Chicago, and they just simply continue to get better defensively. They're coming with those double teams in the backcourt, forcing the turnovers, and they've gotten a lot of baskets off of those turnovers.
Shot clock and the game clock almost identical, a few tenths off, and that's all.
I think they need to run a double team at Michael before he gets...
Oh, what a pass, and a foul will go. Beautiful pass. Hot Rod Williams tried to stuff it inside. He commits a foul, and that is his first. And so with 3 seconds left in the half, Grant will go to the free throw line.
A lot of teams will run a guy from the weak side of the court at Michael to force him to give it up. He is so creative with it.
Horace Grant with 7 rebounds and now 9 points. And Darrell Walker now will come in. They'll get Jordan out of there, who has 2 personal fouls. They'll want to pick up the third, and a 22nd timeout now by the Cleveland Cavaliers. So with 3 seconds left, what you talked about is really true. You think you're playing very well, and you look up at the scoreboard, and you can't shake the Chicago Bulls team. They're down by 4, and yet I think Cleveland has to be very happy with their first half of play.
Cleveland has played very well. Michael Jordan has not shot the ball well. Neither has Scottie Pippen, and still they're right in this ball game. So you have to be a little bit concerned. But I tell you what, Cleveland has to gain some confidence also working in this ball game, because they have been very effective defensively. They have pressured shots, and if they can continue that kind of effort into the second half on the defensive end of the floor, I think they'll be all right. Their defense have given a lot of baskets up to them.
Will Purdue will also come in as they protect themselves foul-wise. Purdue checks in, so with 3 seconds left in the half, Grant will shoot another free throw. Purdue did not play in Game 3, but he did a very good job this year when Bill Cartwright went out injury-wise, started some ball games, and acquitted himself very well. In fact, he started 16, and they were 12-4 record-wise when he was a starting pivot. That's almost an air ball.
The only good thing about that is...
Oh, that was very close by Terrell Brandon.
I was going to say the only good thing about it, that air ball almost, is that it prevents Cleveland from getting into their offense. Brandon almost made it, though, on the full court.
A 4-point lead now for the Cleveland Cavaliers here in Game 4. And the Cavaliers hoping this is not their last halftime of this 1992-93 season. The Reebok halftime report coming up. Ernie Johnson along with Reggie Miller after we take this break.
Cavs have a 4-point lead over the Bulls. They led by 3 at the half of Game 3 and lost it. They're trying to stay alive in this series. Welcome to the Reebok Halftime Report. I'm Ernie Johnson. This is Reggie Miller of the Indiana Pacers. We've talked about this series and about Michael Jordan and the marvelous things he can do. Only 8 points, but Chicago's still right there.
Yeah, I think that's what Chicago wants to do. They want to keep it close within 3 or 4 points, and then fourth quarter, let it be Michael time.
Yeah, he has a tendency at sometimes to take over a game, does he not, Reg?
Well, he's capable of getting 20 to 25 points a quarter, so people shouldn't fret that he only has 8 points. He's just resting that wrist.
I'm sure the Cavs are not fretting right yet. Let's take a look at the Telestrator, this fine piece of equipment we have, and you can go to work on this thing. Show me what Chicago...
This is why Michael Jordan is so great. Look right here. This is how he's going to set up Gerald Wilkins right here for the weak side. Ball's on the strong side. Now watch him come to the ball and get the ball right here. Now they've got 1, 2, 3 people all looking at Michael. Now everyone in the building's looking at Michael. Everyone in the universe is thinking he's going to take this shot right here. But he drives a little bit and Cartwright's wide open for the easy deuce.
Does so many things, feeding the big guy for the big bucket there. Now on the defensive end, take a look.
Now Pippen does a good job here of stripping Doherty.
And now the big guys now sometimes will just hang, won't they?
They'll hang right here and wait for the pursuing play to come back to them. But Doherty says, well, I'm kind of mad that Pippen got the ball for me, so let me get back into the play. He comes into play right here. Now, Cleveland steals the ball. Now look, they've got 1, 2, 3, and you got your big man running the lane.
The 7-footer, the trailer.
He's been swarmed all day down low. Now he gets the easy deuce on the break.
Brad Doherty with 17 points in the first half. The Cleveland Cavaliers have a 52-48 lead at the break. And when the Reebok halftime report continues, they've been talking that talk all during the playoffs. We'll talk to Reggie about that trash talk thing next.
Well, to tell you the truth, I really don't talk trash. I think that incident was more because, you know, John was running out and I was hitting threes on him, and he got a little bit frustrated. But, you know, it's more to motivate myself. You know, I'm a very self-motivating guy, and it gets myself pumped up. It is not to degrade anyone. I go out there to have fun, and to get the crowd into it, and I think he took it kind of personal.
Well, what do you say? How
Well,
did you get under my skin if I was guarding you or you were guarding me?
Well, first of all, I'll tell you, this tie is a Kmart tie. And then I'd tell you, you know, this little handkerchief.
And you know what I do? I go boom, and I hit you with one of those.
And I think, you know, John's a fierce competitor, and I give him credit for that. But so much was made of New York's mental toughness, and I wanted to test that. And, you know, I succeeded.
Well, Pat Riley says, you know, hey, this is a guy who got Michael Jordan out of a game, or at least suspended. I mean, take me through that episode and what happened the night back in February.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for Mike, and I wasn't talking to Mike at all. Mike and I, we were just going, you know, we were going back and forth at one another, and then you know, he gave me a couple elbows at the other end, and you know, I had tipped the ball in, and I just kind of gave him a nudge to let him know that, you know, I remember the couple elbows you gave me, and you know, I was more surprised at that one too. So, you know, it happens. You know,
yeah.
That's fun though.
Does it happen too much though? There are some people who say, hey, the league doesn't need this, man. Too much rough stuff.
When you take it that far, it does. But a lot of guys talk just to be having fun. You know, you've been doing it on the playgrounds for so long. You know, it kind of carries over into the game. But I think it's more so for fun.
Would you be the same player if you didn't talk if you didn't rib?
Probably not. Like I said, I'm a very emotional player and self-motivated, and I need, to talk to myself. I need that, and if I had to be quiet, I'd be in trouble.
Well, we don't want you to be quiet because you're here now, and you're here tomorrow night also. We got a doubleheader tomorrow night with Reggie Miller in the studio, Charlotte and New York. Game 5 of that series, followed by the Suns and the Spurs. Johnson, Reggie Miller. What do we look for in the second half now? Chicago's certainly within striking distance, only down by 4. It's a similar game to Game 3 at Ridgefield.
Well, Cleveland has to continue to run. If they're going to have any chance in this game, they got to continue to run. They got to continue to get the ball to Brad Daugherty. The keys early was for Brad to get 30 points, and they would win. He's on his way.
You know, a lot is made in a situation like this when you're down 3-0. Pride will have to come through. How big a role does pride play if you're down 3-0 to the Bulls?
Well, it's tough. You're going against the team that everyone is picking to win it. And if Cleveland has any pride, tonight they're going to have to show it. But if it's close, I don't know.
Hey, we heard something in the first half from Gary Bender talking about your sister Cheryl, the All-American, wearing you out one-on-one, man. You got a response to that?
See, I think Gary has it wrong. Cheryl told me in those, when he used to work for another network, Gary did, those off days, Shirley really used to wear him out.
I believe that more than I believe her knocking you down on the basketball court. The third period just ahead, probably Bender's response as well. 52-48 the Cavs over the Bulls.
The Reebok Halftime Report has been brought to you by Reebok, who reminds you that on Planet Reebok, there are no limits.
Back at the Ridgefield Coliseum, Gary Bender and Goose Gibbons. Cavaliers led by as many as 9 in that first half, leading by 4.5. And Jack, the thought occurs to me, Game 1 they led by 1. Game 3 they led by 3. Didn't hang on there, so they can't be very comfortable against this Chicago team.
Well, when you're struggling for a win, the thing that you want to do is just win the game. You don't necessarily need a blowout, and I think that is what Cleveland is thinking right here. Let's just get one, get some confidence from there, and we might be able to pull 2 or 3 wins out of this.
Well, Brad Daugherty certainly stepped up. 17 points and 10 rebounds in the first half.
He has played well, and you'll see it right here. The defense that has worked so well for Cleveland, the fact that they've gotten a lot of points off of the turnovers here. Brad Daugherty with the steal and then runs the floor well, collects himself, and dunks that one through. A great start for Brad here in this game.
Well, that was a guy that you targeted as having to step forward. There is a points off turnovers, 13-6. You can see the Bulls have been forcing a lot of turnovers most of the year. The Cavs and Bulls protected the ball very well through the regular season, but both now have turned it over 7 times. Well, let's pick up his airness, Michael Jordan. A couple of missed shots here.
Yeah, he's struggled so far in this ball game. A little hesitant to let it go as freely as he normally would, possibly because of the risk. Now, you see the good defense that time by Larry Nance, and then Michael's going to get another look at the basket. Nance forces him to shoot it a little bit higher than he wants to. He misses 2 in a row. That doesn't happen very often.
And look at the shooting thus far for the big 3, especially Jordan and Pippen. 4 of 12 for Scotty, 3 of 9 for Jordan. Grant didn't take that many shots, but he usually doesn't. But that's the thing that I'm sure as Lenny Wilkins looked at the stat sheet, he said, oh, no, we're leading by 4, and those guys are only shooting that.
Unless he can convince his guys to continue to play the kind of defense they played in the first half. I mean, there's a reason those 3 guys are struggling, and that is because Cleveland has not given up many uncontested shots, especially to Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. They just have to understand that that's the same kind of effort it's going to take in the second half and keep that kind of pressure right on them.
As far as shooting is concerned, Chicago shooting just over 45%. Cleveland just under 44%. As far as the rebounds are concerned, they're dead even at 22. And, of course, that's been an area that Cleveland has really struggled trying to stay on the boards with the Chicago team. I thought an interesting stat also, Goose, was that B.J. Armstrong took only 2 shots in the first half and hit 1 of them.
Sometimes you can be so concerned with the guy you're guarding that you forget about your offense. And I think B.J. has been so intent on making sure that Mark Price does not get off here. And he has done that. Price just 1 of 3, really didn't play much, 14 minutes. But B.J. has been giving him a whole lot more offense.
Yeah, because Brandon came in and played 13 minutes in that first half, giving Mark Price what they hope is a stretch drive stamina to keep this season going now for the Cavaliers. Wilkins had a very good first half, running one-handed. Nance with a follow. Larry Nance, nice tap in. Wilkins in the first half had 14 points, 7 of 13 shooting. Bill Cartwright, that very peculiar shot,
Yes.
but that peculiar shot seems to find the hole, doesn't it?
Peculiar, that's a nice way to describe that one by Bill Cartwright. But he has success with it.
When he and Mike Sanders get together, it almost have a knee-jerk reaction watching him, right? Cartwright 5 of 7 as Grant now hits the deck trying to get through a pick, and Grant is telling Bill Oakes he thought he was fouled. 6 seconds on the shot clock. 4 inside Doherty. Good high-low move there as Nance got it in deep to Doherty.
Well, I like it that Doherty's not thinking about pass first. He's thinking, look at the hole. And if he's not there, then pass.
19 points now for Doherty. They try to do the same thing at the other end. Broken up. Scottie Pippen, as we mentioned, 4 of 12 in the first half. Backing out to Cartwright. Cartwright with another shot underway. And Grant is there. Horace Grant seems to always be in the right place when that ball comes off the board.
The rotation never came. Nance had to step out for the double team, and the other Cavs never did get down and cut off the baseline.
Broken's trying to duck in now on Pippen. Just underway, second half. 4-point lead for the Cavaliers. They led by as many as 9. There's Cartwright batting it out. It'll leave them 8 seconds on the shot clock.
8 seconds.
Well, when the Bulls turn up the heat, the intensity on defense, that's when they start to make their move. They can play defense. They were second only to the New York Knicks in points allowed this year in the NBA. Elo hits one.
And Horace Grant came down on his ankle, came down on Elo's foot.
Yep.
And he is struggling to get up the floor once again.
He really is. Elo in that first half was 0 for 6 shooting. And Jordan misses. Horace is limping as he tries to return, and Wilkins able to get back. They may have to get Horace Grant out of the ball game.
Yeah, he had so much trouble with that ankle, came back from that injury, played so well in game 2.
Well, swelling had gone down, Phil Jackson told me before the game, but that won't help what he did tonight. And Cartwright with a little jump hook.
You can see him running the floor. He is struggling.
Thus far, though, Phil Jackson's made no move to substitute. 60-54 Cleveland.
And I think you have to go right to Nance. Go right to Nance and see if Grant can move laterally.
And he jumps out on Mark Price.
There you go. And you got to take that, yes.
He makes the separation because Grant really can't get out there. Now, Phil Jackson's going to make a change.
Yeah, he's going to have to.
Scott Williams is going to come into the ball game. So Grant, who hurt that ankle in the first quarter of game number 1, came back with a 20-point effort in game 2. Cartwright following. Bill Cartwright now is carrying this team offensively in the second half. 14 points for Bill.
Been a different guy every game for Chicago.
Well, your good teams, that happens. Elo trying to duck in, out of control, gets it to Doherty. Doherty.
Nice.
And we're going to have a foul as Pippen reaching up commits a foul. And now Scott Williams will come into the Bulls lineup. And Horace Grant will sit down.
Yeah, I think it's all right for Brad Doherty to be selfish in this game. I think his teammates want that from him. There goes Grant to the bench. He went up for a block attempt on Elo's shot. Elo made the basket. Grant came down on his foot and turned it again. You'll see it right here. Now watch Elo. Grant has to step out and watch the feet. And you see him come up hurting right there.
That's happened so often. You turn that ankle and you come down on somebody's foot. 64-56, the Cavaliers. Scott Williams, who plays so hard, has averaged 9 rebounds in the series, comes in replacing Grant. B.J. Armstrong, who took only 2 shots in the first half, and Michael Jordan forcing the boards.
Michael really has not been rebounding all that well in this series, but you know he can do that, and you can never lose Michael Jordan.
What can't Michael Jordan?
Exactly right. And of course, he is struggling from the field. He realizes that. He knows he has to get an easy basket or 2, and he does it right there on the offensive board.
Grant trying to shake off that sprained ankle.
I expect to see him back.
13 seconds now on the shot clock as the inbound. Price with a 3 from outside. Mark Price now doubles on Pippen. Pippen heads up, pulls up the dribble.
Now let's see if Chicago takes advantage of this matchup. Pippen against Price. Now you know they're going to do that. Good teams are great at taking advantage of mismatches.
This match is their biggest lead of the ball game. Into Scott Williams. He looked around. Pippen had left him, and he threw it away. 3-on-2. Elo.
Nice. Real nice job in the open floor, and Chicago has to call the timeout. Good look. Good ball movement.
A little spurt by the Cavaliers as they get out on the break, and Elo, along with the shooting of Mark Price. And Cleveland now with their biggest lead of the ball game. Very well done. The breakout, and Elo finishing for Cleveland. The Cavs are their biggest lead of the ball game. One reason they missed only one shot, 7 of 8 here in the second half.
Well, when Cleveland made their run in the first half, they did it with their defense. Got a lot of layups because of that. Here they are once again, and of course you get shots like this, you're going to make a high percentage of them. 7 of 8. It's the Cavs in this period.
On the other hand, the Bulls are not too shabby themselves. They're 5 of 8 for 63%. You keep wondering when this guy is going to explode. Michael Jordan. 7:28 now remaining in the third. 11-point lead for Cleveland.
And I think Michael will try to start taking things more of the responsibility. That's a good job right there, but he makes a big shot.
Well, that's a beginning point, isn't it? Oh, you never get tired of watching him.
He takes the tough shots and make them look easy.
Elo now with Pippen extending the defense against him.
Grant back in
Yes,
there.
he is. I was just going to say, look who's back in the lineup. Well, now they're very long. Shows you what a competitor Horace Grant is. And they position inside. Good positioning on the defensive boards that time by Chicago.
I think if Cleveland's going to go to Nance against Grant, and they should, they need to get him moving. Get him something out of the floor of the offense.
Grant from the corner. Got the bounce.
Got to make that ankle feel a lot better.
Yes, you wonder how it would affect his lift on that shot. But it did. Boy, did Price run B.J. Armstrong through a pick. Larry Nance stood there, and I don't know how he avoided a tremendous collision. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Nance backing in on Grant. There's a horsing shot if I've ever seen one.
Well, see, I like the way Cleveland have come out here, and they're trying to take advantage of that matchup. They know Grant is hurting. They're going to try to give Nance opportunities to work to see how well he can move.
Boy, Wilkins working hard. He doesn't want to get Jordan started or let him get started as he reaches in, commits his second foul. You can see Michael now trying to pick it up a little bit offensively.
You'll see Nance working right here against Grant. They're giving him the ball a lot of different positions on the floor, and I'm sure Lenny just told him to go on and take the shot, try to see if he's going to be able to stop him.
It's hard to stop Larry Nance. He shoots that ball so high, almost an unblockable shot when he gets it up there.
Yeah, he gets up off the floor so well.
Here's Jordan with Wilkins on him, and doesn't get it. Nance rips it down. And that's some of that toughness that Lenny Wilkins likes to see.
That is just what you need.
Elo all the way, and he's fouled. And Elo has started to take it inside, penetrate very effectively. Hartwright committing the foul.
Nance with the rebound right here. Now watch how aggressively he goes up for this one and just clears everyone out. And, you know, the crowd sees that, and it surprises them because they want that kind of attitude. They want that kind of aggressiveness, and that's what they've been talking about in this series the most.
Well, you know, they don't have a vocal leader.
They really don't.
And that's part of the problem. Someone's going to have to generate that by play, and that's what Nance was trying to do on that aggressive rebound. 1 of 2 free throws makes it now 72-63. 10-point lead for Cleveland.
You know, the thing Cleveland wants to do here is not allow Chicago to get back in this game. They would like to have a substantial lead going into the fourth period. MJ knocks down the 3.
Didn't look like the wrist bothered him there, did it?
You remember the second half of Game 3 Saturday.
Well, he scored 10 of the last 13 points in the fourth quarter in Game 3. Boy, they jump out on Elo. They know he wants it right now. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Doherty backing in on Cartwright. Nice spin move.
Now, Brad cannot be satisfied with the big first half that he had. He has to continue that same kind of effort here in the second half of play.
23 points now for Brad Doherty. That's high in this series. He did have a 29-point game in the first round against the Nets. Horace Grant goes to the floor. Jordan's got it. And that's blocked by Elo. Elo got it. Here they come. And we're going to have a foul, a blocking foul on B.J. Armstrong. That's his third. And the crowd up applauding the aggressive play of Cleveland.
I think they are just happy to see the inside people for Cleveland putting bodies on people. I mean, you've seen Chicago's players hit the floor more in this game than I think in the whole series. And I think that's what it's about this time of the year.
3 changes for Phil Jackson. Scott Williams, John Paxson, and Stacey King coming to the ballgame. I tell you, Michael Jordan didn't want to have to play another game until the Eastern Conference Final. He wanted to rest the wrist. Grant wanted to rest the ankle. But they have a real struggle evolving here in Game 4 to end this series. Here's Nance from outside. Rebound Scott Williams. 74-65 Cleveland, just outside 4 minutes to go in the third.
Now this lineup on the floor, Michael Jordan will take even more of the responsibility. 3 guys in there that hasn't scored a lot. Pippen, of course, is able to score you some points, and he does right there.
Well, I tell you, Pippen and Jordan, you see some similarities once in a while, how they use the glass from that side. I think they're around each other so much, it rubs off.
Well, you saw that shot Pippen made in the first half. Very much Michael Jordan type shot.
Already backing in, 10 seconds on the shot clock. They double on him, a turnaround. This time it doesn't go. Nance with a follow. This was such a poor offensive rebounding team through the course of the year, Cleveland. On the other hand, Chicago led the NBA in offensive rebounds.
But Brad Daugherty with drawing the double teams, and of course Nance can get to the offensive boards on the other side.
No foul. And now we're going to have a foul. Bill Oakes then calls a foul. After the collision, there was none. And then Price came back and committed his second foul as Hot Rod Williams will come back in the lineup for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Well, that's probably a good foul by Price because Nance went down. Chicago had the numbers on the weak side. Price picked up the foul and they didn't get hurt.
Second team foul against Cleveland. Chicago with 3. And it goes to Stacey King, and King is sandwiched between Daugherty and Nance as he goes inside. It's going to be on Daugherty, and that will be his second. Stacey King playing very hard. King had 9 points in the first game in this series. He had 6 points in Game 3. 5 points tonight. The thing that's so unusual about Chicago, and talking to John Bach before the games, they have 4 different centers. Now, a lot of people can get enough playing time for all 4, and they're all 4 different kind of centers. I'll talk about these 4 guys.
Right, and they have platooned them very well in working against Brad Daugherty. Fresh bodies leaning on Brad all the time. They've kept him off balance. He's been a little fatigued going against the 4.
Price goes around. Paxson blocked by Michael Jordan. And now they say he was out of bounds. Jordan went flying through the air. You know, Paxson having a tough time with that knee, trying to stay with Mark Price.
Well, you'll see him right here. Price gets around, wanted to foul. And Michael comes over and gets the steal.
And back to the live action. Jordan, and then Price stays in there defensively and comes up with a steal. What a play by Price. And now we have another blocking foul. Paxson trying to stop Mark Price's move up the floor, has committed the foul.
Cavaliers timeout.
Timeout now. 2:52 to go in the third. 7-point lead for Cleveland. 76-69 the Cavs, and Cleveland has been criticized for a lack of heart, intensity. What's this sequence here?
Yeah, you can't say that about this game. They have done a real good job of meeting the intensity of Chicago and probably outplaying Chicago, coming up with a lot of loose balls here, and that has gotten them started on the fast break. They've gotten more fast break points in this game than any other one in the playoffs against this team.
Let's take a look now at tonight's GMC scoreboard. Of course, this is the only game in the NBA tonight, but tomorrow, beginning at 8 o'clock Eastern. What a series this has been. They've already had 2 games that went into single overtime and 1 in double overtime, and then followed with San Antonio, Phoenix. I tell you, the Spurs looked awfully good at home, and Phoenix, who won the first 2 in America West Arena, try to get that advantage back. Both those games coming up tomorrow here on TNT. Danny Ferry into the ball game now.
Tough matchup, Danny working against Scottie Pippen. It hurt Chicago. hurt Cleveland in the first half, an offensive foul this time.
Hot Rod Williams, they're going to say Price is third. I thought they had a moving screen down here on Hot Rod. Instead, it's Price picking up the foul, his third.
They have been on Price so tough in this series. Price feels he has to push them to free himself up.
Yeah, they have just worked him both ends of the floor. Pick him up when he brings the ball, try to keep it out of his hands, and then really come after him as Price gets it to Wilkins, and Wilkins is fouled. And Price playing very hard. He, too, wanting to continue this series as Pippen now has committed his fourth foul.
Mark Price seems to be limping some as he leaves the floor. He has been doing a good job of coming over from the weak side with the running jump. He has picked the pockets of a few Chicago players here.
Well, he had 6 steals in game 1, remember, against Chicago?
And let's hope he's okay as he leaves the game there.
Out of the ball game now as Brandon comes in. 2:23 left in the third.
As I say, Cleveland wants to make sure, and Price, you see him flexing that ankle area, talking to the trainer there. Cleveland wants to make sure they protect this lead. It would be nice for them to go into the fourth period with a 6, 7, 8-point lead. We'll see what happens here. That lead went up to 10 or 11 just a little while ago.
Wilkins 1 of 2. He had a career high this year from the free throw line. He shot 84% of the regular season. 77-69. The biggest lead was 11 by Cleveland. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Jordan will pull up and hit it.
Well, I just think if they get him isolated like that, you have to run someone at Michael to force him to give the ball up. I mean, if he has his way and just sits there and, gets the defense back on the heels, he's going to score all night.
He has 17 points. That was a tough shot by Wilkins, saved nicely by Brandon. And it comes now to Doherty. Backing in on Stacey King. They double on him. Wilkins looks up, sees 12 seconds on the shot clock. Perry trying to get open inside. Wilkins a spin move, having to work awfully hard to get something open. And out it comes to Paxson. Good defense by Chicago. Entry pass to Pippen. Paxson wanted to shoot it before he had it.
I think so.
Jordan has the battle. Oh, look at this. No look pass. And Scott Williams is fouled. Never ceases to amaze you. That will be the 15th foul. And on Doherty, that will be his third. And at the line will be Scott Williams.
The thing about that play, Cleveland ran at Michael Jordan, made him give the ball up. If someone else beats Cleveland here tonight, now what can you say? But you just don't want Michael having another 40-point night here. Now you'll see him running at him, and he has to give it up. Makes a great pass. But Scott Williams, instead of Michael, is the guy that gets the shot.
Jordan has 10 points in this quarter as Craig Elo now into the ball game, and Trent Tucker comes in for Scottie Pippen. Jordan, Tucker, Paxson, so we have a 3-guard offense right now with Scott Williams and Stacey King. (77-72), the Bulls staying close, and of course the fourth quarter has been their quarter in all the 3 previous games. Doherty inside, and he's fouled by Scott Williams.
What are you waiting on, Brad? I mean, he had the clear path to the basket. Go for it. I mean, this is maybe your last shot. You can't keep giving it up. Go on and take it.
Scott Williams with his second foul, 77-73 with 58.5 seconds left in the third.
Brad Doherty's been to the free throw line already 8 times tonight. He's made 7 of them.
What a shooter he's been. We mentioned his free throw shooting. He was second in the NBA field goal shooting wise, second only to Cedric Sabalas of Phoenix. Well, Brad has, as you mentioned, been the guy they needed to step forward, and thus far he's done that and then some. 79-73.
Stop right here by the Cleveland defense, very important. I mean, this would be a good chance to get you some momentum going into the fourth period.
Jordan ducks on the baseline. No one stops him, though.
Not going to happen.
Boy, he's handling the ball very well in that right hand after being very tentative early in the ball game. They come down now. to the last 25 seconds of the quarter. Rod lost the ball momentarily. Scott Williams got him. That's a continuation. The basket will count. A chance for a three-point play. Williams' third foul.
Williams has been very vocal about his lack of playing time here in the playoffs, and especially in this series. Right here he gets it, puts it on the floor, uses his quickness, gets to the basket, and has a chance for a three-point play.
Rod Williams now with 7 points in the game. Three-point play, 21.4 seconds. Paxson having some pressure put on by Brandon.
I think you have to make someone else take this shot other than Michael Jordan.
It's going to be Trent Tucker from the corner, and he's not been shooting well. This time, Doherty has it, and it'll be knocked out of bounds with 3.2 seconds left in the quarter. This crowd is buzzing right now as the Cavaliers, through three quarters, have fought the two-time defending world champions very well and have an 82-75 lead after three. And so Cleveland, a final quarter to continue this season. Hitting his last four, I think, setting us up for what he may do here in the final 12 minutes.
Well, two things Cleveland has to protect against here when you're talking Michael Jordan. You know, the Bulls will go to the high pick and roll to try to free Michael up, get him going towards the basket. You have to handle that. And then the other thing, they are isolating him and allowing him to work one-on-one against Elo. Now here comes the pick and roll. Brad has to step out.
And we're going to have a blocking foul on Elo.
Now he goes the other way. Elo has to force him into the double team, and Brad Doherty is going to have to step out, cut him off, and force him to give it up.
Elo committing his second foul. When you think of these two, you think of that shot in '89. Michael Jordan hit the one at the buzzer against Elo. Won that first round series. Here's a rebound by Hot Rod Williams. Paxson keeps it from being a breakout for two. And Cleveland will inbound with 11:39 left in the game.
Now what Michael has done, both times they've tried to set up the double team, Elo has not been on the baseline side. He has not forced him into that double team. He's allowed Michael to get down towards the baseline. He'll try to force him over the middle.
Carol Brandon now trying to take Paxson inside. And they throw it away. Doherty tried to hit Ferry, who was cutting over the middle, too tall, and the turnover now is 10 against Cleveland, matches Chicago's 10. 82-75. Williams looks back door to Paxson, up to Tucker. Tucker still looking for a shot to go. It just won't. He's been really cold in the second round of play. Brandon partially deflected there by Paxson.
Paxson's close to being illegal.
9 seconds on the shot clock and a little left hand there by Hot Rod Williams.
Well, one problem Cleveland's big people have had in this series is they've waited for the double team to come instead of making the quick move. That time John Williams went away from the double team towards the baseline for the two.
Paxson back to Trent Tucker. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Jordan, nice pass, gathering himself as Stacey King, and he is fouled. Coming over and committing the foul is Hot Rod Williams, as Pippen now will come into the ball game. And Trent Tucker will come out. So Pippen, getting a break, comes back into the ball game. That Williams' foul is going to be his second. Stacey King at the line. 2 team fouls against Cleveland. Chicago has not committed one here in the fourth quarter.
As Pippen came into the game, he originally came in for Michael Jordan. Michael gave Phil the look over there like, I don't want to come out of the game right now. And Trent Tucker ended up taking the seat.
84-77, 10:36 left.
Now here comes the full court pressure.
Carol Brandon, this is where they missed him in game 3, his ability to handle that kind of pressure. Cleveland keeping their poise, doing a good job, able to break that pressure. Here's Williams from outside, Jordan with the rebound. Michael trying to make something happen. Ducks in, changes the shot, doesn't get it. Rebound Ferry. Out it comes to Elo. Pippen deflection. For Scottie Pippen, long arms went way up to keep that one from going further.
Now I think Cleveland right here needs to make sure they get good shots at the basket. I don't know that that's a good shot.
Well, I think Williams' shot earlier maybe wasn't that well advised.
See, that's just not good. But the reason they've been successful is that they've taken good shots and they've gotten to the basket. And when they've missed, they've gotten to the free throw line. You can't start throwing up the jump shots here. Travel.
That's a travel. He changed his pivot foot. So we're going to have a timeout. 9:42 left in the game. Cleveland desperately trying to keep this season going, leading at 84-77. Payne and Doherty is doing quite a job hanging in there against all the Bulls centers.
Yeah, we talked about the need, and really it's past the need. It's a necessity here in this game for Brad to have a big one. He has played well. The Cavs also doing a good job on the boards here tonight.
I tell you, Goose, the thing that really jumps out at you is that just for a moment there, Cleveland was losing a little of their poise. As you mentioned, a couple of ill-advised shots.
Well, I think what they have to do here is make sure they remember how they got the lead. And that is taking the ball in the basket, in the paint to the big people, not shooting the fall-aways by the big guys. If they don't shoot those shots, take the high percentage shots, they can stay in this game.
Brad Doherty now out of the lineup, and they're doing some repair on his leg. Gerald Brandon, Elo on the backcourt. Williams, Ferry, and now Larry Nance is back in the ball game for the Cavaliers. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Williams backing in.
That's a much better shot. He doesn't make it, but that's a much higher percentage shot.
Ferry with a big offensive rebound, and Brandon with the three.
And you see what happens when you draw that defense on the inside. By going to the basket, it's going to free up the outside people for the higher percentage shots.
Well, earlier Mark Price went out after he was kicked in the right ankle, and now they're administering the right foot of Brad Doherty on the bench. So the Cavaliers getting a little nicked up right now in this fourth quarter. Pippen tried to go inside, and Williams would have nothing to do with it.
Good D. Nice defense.
2 seconds on the shot clock with one. That'll count if it goes, and it does. It's a three. Is that typical, Jordan?
Oh, my.
This crowd is buzzing, even though it's a Cleveland Cavalier crowd. They didn't want that to go. They had to be impressed.
It looked good from the time it left his hand. I mean, you could tell it was going to go.
7-point lead now for Cleveland. Nance ducking in on Grant. Ferry from the corner. Got it. Ferry's hit some big shots for this team. They've had him around more at crunch time. He hit the nets at the buzzer in the regular season with a shot that won it. He's worked so hard to improve his game.
Made that big shot down in Atlanta to send that game in overtime that Cleveland finally won.
10 seconds on the shot clock.
Not the guy you want to leave open.
And Paxson, who's having a tough time with that knee. He's almost got bone on bone in the knee. Still can shoot it when you give him that kind of time.
Well, that's the first time he's been open in this game. Brandon went down to help out. Paxson is not the guy you want to leave.
89-83 Cleveland. 7:45 left in the game. And maybe in the season for the Cavaliers. Nance. We're going to have an illegal defense.
Illegal defense.
Let's go back to that shot as the clock was expiring and Michael Jordan from outside.
Well, you watch the form on this shot as Michael lets it go. I mean, there is no doubt that this one is going to go. Look at the follow-through. All bottom.
He relishes in those pressure situations. Jordan now coming out of the ball game. Trent Tucker comes back in. So Paxson and Tucker now in the backcourt. 89-83 Cleveland. 7.5 minutes to go. They have trouble now getting into their offense.
Not in the flow right here. They're going to have to struggle to get a shot up.
5 seconds. Nance ducks in, deflected off to Pippen. They never did get in sync there, and then Nance with a frustration foul, coming back up and committing that foul, and that's 4 on Larry Nance.
3 team fouls on the Cavs now. Chicago has yet to commit their first here in this period.
P.J. Armstrong will come back in for Chicago. Paxson will check out. Again, you could just see a little bit of Cleveland losing their poise. Not really in the flow that they've been most of the game on that last trip.
Well, 2 things to need right now. Brad Doherty, number 1, back on the floor. And it'd be nice to get Mark Price in. He's the leader.
Pippen to the hole. Williams, who fights everybody for every rebound, follows, and he draws the foul. Scott Williams kind of approaches every game with a snarl, I think, as that foul will be The 4th foul on Larry Nance.
Mark Price now in the game, working the backcourt along with Terrell Brandon.
Well, you never accuse the Bulls of playing without intensity. No. You look at guys like Scott Williams, Horace Grant, Jordan, Pippen. It's the reason they're trying to three-peat is the energy that they expel on a basketball floor. 89-84, inside 7 minutes to go. As mentioned, Cleveland with 14 fouls. Chicago yet to commit one. Williams sucks in. There's the first. As Horace Grant commits it.
Right, and that's what they did to get the lead. Going towards the basket. Shots going towards the basket in the paint.
We have a timeout. 6:45 remaining. Cleveland trying to send this one back to Chicago Stadium Wednesday night. Cavaliers down 3 games to none, but leading 89-84 with 6:45 to go in the 4th quarter. As you look at a reset, the Bulls have 4 full timeouts and a 20. The Cavs 3 full and a 20. Interestingly enough, Chicago has not committed a foul in this quarter. Cleveland with 4, so the next they're in the penalty. And Jordan has returned.
Now, I didn't know how long he would stay over there, but with Cleveland here at the free throw line and a chance to go up by 7, you know Phil Jackson can't leave him sitting very long. Michael wanted a few minutes on the bench, a little rest. He's not going to get it here.
Jordan with 22 points in the ball game.
Gerald Wilkins also will check back in as Michael Jordan comes back in the game.
Both teams doing a good job at the free throw line. As we mentioned, Cleveland led the entire NBA, shooting 80% in the regular season. Now, Mark Price had come in so briefly and now goes back out. Gerald Wilkins comes in.
Now, you know, Mark was very much vocal about not being able to play down the stretch in game 1 of this series. Mentioned that in the papers, and you know, he says he wants to be in there down the stretch. Terrell Brandon playing well.
Well, I think they got him out of it because Jordan came in and they had to have Wilkins to guard Michael, and so the matchup problems got Mark out of there. Here's Pippen, a running one-hander. 15 points for Scottie Pippen. 4-point ball game, 6:20 to go. What was it Phil Jackson said? Well, just keep it close down at the end and then make it happen. They've done that so many times. Hot rod backing, and Scott Williams reaches in and commits a foul. So Chicago now has committed their 2nd team foul. Doherty will come in and Danny Ferry will lead.
Ferry gave him some good minutes. Didn't make the mistakes. Made a big basket from the corner, and that's what you want from your substitutes.
Approaching 6 minutes left.
I think these next 2 minutes, very important for Cleveland. You know Chicago's going to make this little run here pretty quickly.
Doherty with Scott Williams on him, 6 seconds.
You can't wait for the double team, Brad. Can't wait for the double team.
With 2, and we're going to have a traveling call on Doherty. Bill Oates spotted that one. Good defense by Chicago.
I mean, you see Brad just kind of looking over his shoulder here, waiting for the double team to come. He's played too well in this game to even give the double team a second thought here. He has gotten to the free throw line. He has been physical. He has done all the things offensively that he needs to do.
He has 25 points tonight. Jordan trying to work off of that screen, and he's forced back court. And they're going to have a foul on Larry Nance, and that would be the 5th on Larry Nance. He went over the half-court line, and they called Larry Nance for a bump. And Lenny Wilkins is really upset. That puts the Cavs over the limit. Jordan going to the line.
Well, Nance, I thought, played him pretty well this time. Now watch, he is just going to continue to go at Michael. There's some body contact right there. I don't know if it's enough to justify the call. It went that way. Lenny Wilkins didn't like it. Larry Nance didn't like it. And now he has foul.
Well, we have a 2-point game. 90-88, 5.5 minutes to go. The Bulls want to end it here. Cleveland wants to get to a game 5, and we've got 5:26 to decide that issue. And And we have a foul. Cartwright and Doherty hooked up inside. Cartwright will get the foul, and now Dick Pavetta and Phil Jackson exchanging some pleasantries on the far side.
Well, it's getting very physical down there, and of course, Brad Doherty, you know he's going to touch the ball right here. Cartwright put right back in the game to make sure that Brad does not get the position that he wants on the low post. A lot of contact there.
13 foul, third foul on Bill Cartwright. Brandon kicking back outside. Gets a pick on BJ and
nice
shakes
move.
loose.
Really nice.
Very well done. He's hit 2 big shots in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, he drew in the double team, just made the quick move to the basket, and he learned that move from Mark Price. You see Price doing that a lot.
Cavs back up by 4, 5 minutes to go. Doherty jumps clear out on Pippen. Pippen shakes it. Off it comes to BJ Armstrong. He hasn't shot very much. That'll be a 2. It is not a 3. Okay, Brandon ran out on him and hit the floor hard. Couldn't block the shot. It's a 2-point game.
For a guy that you just don't hear a whole lot about or does not get a lot of press because of all the other.
And now we have another foul. This time it's on Doherty. He and Cartwright. It goes the other way, and Brad Doherty now has 4 fouls. So it went the other way, as you put it.
Yeah. They will try to clean that situation up, the officials, and they've called one each way. I was going to mention B.J. Armstrong has played big.
Pippen ties it. He ties it. Oh, is that something?
Boy, he's made 2 here tonight.
Hasn't he? 92 all, 4:18 to go. As you would anticipate, the Bulls are right back in and trying to wrap up this series. There's a steal. The crowd not very happy. Out it comes to Michael Jordan. They thought there was a foul. Grant puts it away, and the Bulls have taken the lead. 94-92. The Cavs have led all the way, and Chicago now, with 4 minutes left, has a 2-point lead. And this crowd is not happy. Gary Bender, Jack Gibbons. Well, the crowd was angry. We're going to show you why as we watch this save on the baseline.
Well, Brad gets to the basket. Nice pass coming in from Terrell Brandon. And watch the reaction, Brad Doherty. The problem is Cleveland does not get back defensively. Chicago gets the quick basket, and they have taken a 2-point lead here in this game.
And Lenny Wilkins is just as perturbed as Doherty was. So the last time the Bulls led in this ball game was 23-22, and now lead 94-92. In this quarter, the Bulls have outscored them 19-10.
I think Cleveland right here needs to make sure that they go back down to Brad Doherty. I mean, right now, and force the officials to make a call.
They've almost forgotten, Jack, what had made them so successful in the first 3 quarters.
Yeah, I mean, I just think this time if you go towards the hole, you're going to get one call. They don't. See, they don't do that, and they give it up again.
They're kind of falling back into that tentative personality, which they've been criticized for.
Well, early in this game, it was so aggressive. So aggressive in every phase.
Jordan wants the ball. And Wilkins stripped him of it. Up to Brandon. Gerald Wilkins with a big steal. It's even at 94. Well, I tell you, Wilkins better be ready now.
You know,
this time down the floor.
And you just know that Chicago's going to take advantage, are going to take the ball to that big guy. And you just know it.
Cartwright blocked by Doherty. And the aggressiveness has come back now for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Inside 3 minutes, Wilkins from the corner. That's a 2. Cleveland by 2, 96-94, 2:48 to go. It is deafening right now. Jordan ducks in, gets it to Grant, blocked by Hot Rod, but Grant reloads it. Even at 96.
Now we anticipated this kind of game. Chicago made the good effort to get back in it. Cleveland has answered it for now.
And the fans are on their feet right now. We have a foul on B.J. Armstrong, reaching out on Brandon. I'll tell you, Brandon has played like a real veteran here tonight. That is a 4th foul on B.J. Armstrong.
Well, it's obvious Lenny Wilkins has a lot of confidence in Terrell Brandon to have him on the floor in place of Mark Price right now. Brandon plays big in these situations.
That was the 14th foul. One more, and Chicago's over the limit. Cleveland already is in the penalty. Approaching 2 minutes to go. Larry Nance, here's Grant knocking it away. It'll give him 10 seconds on the shot clock. 96-96 again. Cleveland trying to keep the season alive. Chicago trying to wrap it up. Cleveland has called for a 20-second timeout.
Lenny wants to draw up a play right here. I just still think, because Brad did not get the call the time before, if you go into him and he makes a strong move to the basket, even if there's just a little contact, he's going to get the call this time. You might see them go down there. They haven't gone to him, though, since that play.
So Cleveland, for a moment, falling back into that personality that they dislike so much, being tentative, non-aggressive. Fire up again. They tied it up. And the Bulls have 4 full timeouts left in the 20. Cleveland has 3 fulls left. And the Bulls, next foul, they'll be in the penalty. The Cavs already in that situation.
Cleveland continues what they're doing here, shooting 51%. They will become the first team in the playoffs to shoot 50% or better against Chicago.
Chicago trying to win their 7th straight playoff game, 9 if you go back to the last 2 games of the championship finals of last season.
Nice job. Nice creating there.
Wilkins, that is a 3. Boy, he's hit baseline shots from both sides.
And that tells you right there why Terrell Brandon's in the game. Watch the penetration here by Terrell Brandon into the paint. Handles the double team very well, just splits them and finds Wilkins.
So Wilkins not only has played well defensively, but he's hit 2 key shots. Wilkins playing possibly the finest game of his career.
Watch Terrell Brandon split the defense and then finds, and this, no other way to put it, a huge shot by Gerald Wilkins. Good follow through, and watch the reactions here.
He is 10 of 19 shooting, 22 points, and played very well at the other end of the floor, trying to be the Jordan stopper. He's the emotion that the Cavs so desperately need.
Got the call from his brother Dominique after game 1 when Michael got 43. They talked about it, and he has played Michael better since then.
1:40 left. Wilkins trying to stay with Michael. He might have gotten a piece of that. Grant tries to pull it down. Jordan comes up with it, changes the shot, and he's fouled. Larry Nance is over there. Is it going to be on Nance? Let's wait and see. Nope, it's going to be on Brad Daugherty. So that's the 5th on Brad.
Larry Nance already playing with 5 personals.
That's what I thought. I thought maybe he had fouled out, but instead now both Daugherty and Nance with 5.
Oh, and you saw Grant just push Terrell Brandon out of there. That's the one area probably that having Terrell Brandon in the game right now will not be an asset, and that is if it's a foul situation, it will probably go against Brandon in every case because of his youth.
It's a 1-point game, 99-98. Jordan with 26 points in the ball game.
Good job, Brandon, handling the pressure up the floor.
Stolen by Armstrong. What a big steal that is. Pippen to Jordan. Daugherty, that'll be his 6th foul. As he fouls Pippen. And so Daugherty is fouled out with now 1:16 left in the game, and possibly played his last seconds of the season.
And what a way to lose Brad Daugherty.
He did not score in the 4th quarter, but he had 25 points and 12 rebounds for the game.
And in addition to everything else, he does not prevent the basket from going down.
199, a chance for a 3-point play. Scott Williams coming into the ball game.
And you see the push. Michael makes the basket and just sits. Yes, it's me once again.
Jordan with 28 points, 20 in the 2nd half. And he's hit those free throws down the stretch. And the Cavs have asked for a timeout. They're down by 2. 1:16 left in the season, possibly, for the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Bulls 101, the Cavs 99. Cleveland now has one full timeout remaining. The Bulls with 3 plus a 20. And we were just talking a while ago, Brad Daugherty fouling out of the ball game, did not prevent the shot by Jordan, ended up being a three-point play. It's one of those little lapses. I'm sure he'd like to have that one back.
Yeah, you know, what can you say? I mean, Brad definitely is needed on the floor here for this team. I think he just has to understand the situation. I mean, you have 5, give up the 2 points and stay on the floor. Instead, he commits the foul, gives up the basket, a 3-point play actually to Michael. And now they find themselves down by 2.
Well, let's see. With Daugherty out of there, they're going to come with Nance, Elo in the ball game, Hot Rod Williams, Terrell Brandon, and of course Gerald Wilkins, who had hit those big shots.
Now they'll get much smaller, obviously, with Brad sitting. Much better game, though, tonight from Brad. 25 points, the kind of game he needed. We'll see if Cleveland has enough here down the stretch to win this game without him.
The Bulls now with 4 of their starting 5 in the lineup. The only change is Williams in place of Bill Cartwright. Minute 10 left. 2-point lead for Chicago, and Nance trying to tie it up. It's going to be off of the Bulls. They have a fresh 24-second shot clock, a minute 5 left.
The thing that has worked well for Cleveland here is Terrell Brandon's ability to beat the defense off the dribble and create shots. We'll see if they'll go to that again here.
And they're going to call a timeout now. That is their final timeout.
Oh, man.
I wonder if you wanted to use it there.
Well, you know, if you don't use it, you commit the turnover.
Well, Wilkins did, and so with 1:05 left in the ball game, a 2-point lead, the Cleveland Cavaliers cannot stop the clock either by a 20 or a full timeout. Good defense again by Chicago. They just seem to turn it up another click.
Well, you look at the situation right now, and everything seems to be stacked up against Cleveland right now. They find themselves down by 2. They have to burn their last timeout here. So you look at this, and you wonder if they can do it with Brad Daugherty sitting on the bench. Lenny, though, drawing up something here. Long way from over, 1:05 left.
Well, with 1:05 remaining, they have a peculiar situation as if, as you know, they can make a basket, maybe call a timeout, get something set up. They don't have that privilege now or that opportunity. Lenny Wilkins, the second winningest coach in the history of the NBA. He won it all in 1979, coaching the Seattle Supersonics to the victory, and yet finds his job in real jeopardy, this being his 7th year as head coach. And everybody out to get his scalp. Of course, there's been a lot of coaches who have been in that position through the course of this game, through the history of the game. Let's go back and look at the timeout that Wilkins called, the final timeout for Cleveland.
Well, they just can't get the ball in, but Cleveland has been guilty here. You'll see the shot go up by Nance, then it'll go out of bounds. But they haven't moved as well here in this 4th period offensively.
Now they had a fresh 24, and you can see Wilkins now getting the play set as he ambles over to take the ball and inbound it.
And they're just not going to be able to get it in right here.
So they use the final timeout. A minute 5 to go. Mark Price is coming to the ball game. 101-99 Chicago. Jordan jumps out on Mark Price. And away from the ball, Horace Grant has committed a foul. Chicago obviously didn't want that. He got tangled up with Larry Nance.
Well, that time Cleveland spread the floor very well with another shooter on the floor, and Mark Price. Jordan had to come out. He couldn't lay back in there and try to get set up for the double team. That put Nance in a one-on-one situation against Grant. Forced the foul.
4th foul on Horace Grant. Nance makes it a 1-point game. And now Wilkins will come in. Brandon will leave. They got Wilkins back in because Jordan's down at the other end. They want somebody to stop him. And Cartwright comes in for Scott Williams.
Now, this tough situation for Mark Price. He's been sitting over there a long time on the bench, has not played. He's out stretching now, trying to loosen up. He will be called on here to guard B.J. Armstrong up the floor.
That's for the tie as Nance has hit all 4 of his shots from the charity line. Less than a minute. Jordan with 10 seconds on the shot clock. I think Wilkins got a piece of it. Wilkins with excellent defense.
Good job defensively. Gerald Wilkins has played tremendously well on both ends of the floor.
And Cleveland now with a deadlocked at 101. Runs into all kinds of problems. Elo comes up with it. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Elo not there. Jordan saves it to Grant. Timeout, Chicago. 18.5 left.
Elo wanted the foul. He thought he got hit on the elbow as he let that one go. Did not extend on the shot. Pulled the trigger just a little.
And Phil Jackson now will take a 20-second timeout. Well, he'll try to orchestrate a play that will end this series.
Well, I mean, guess who the ball is going to go to? You want to take a guess here?
Well, I think that's a pretty safe bet.
Yeah, if I'm Cleveland, though, I'm going to make someone other than Michael beat me. I mean, I have to run at him, force him to give the ball up. And you just don't want him taking the last shot. He's made too many of them.
Well, I tell you, Wilkins, last quarter has gotten up in Michael Jordan's face and twice looked like he either altered the shot or just at least made it very difficult for Jordan to zero in on the basket. He's played, as you said, very well at both ends of the floor.
I think Gerald Wilkins, if Cleveland can win this game, is definitely the star for the Cavs. He has played Michael well the last 2 or 3 trips down the floor, and he has made the big shots. I mean, just a nice game from Gerald.
Well, the Bulls lost the regular season series to the Cavaliers, 3-2, losing the last 3. They've come in here tonight 6-0 in playoff competition, sweeping Atlanta, winning the first 3 against Cleveland, and trying to end this one and get ready for the winner of the Knicks-Hornets. And, of course, you'll see that game tomorrow night on TNT with a 3-1 lead for the Knicks. You know, I was talking about 1989, first round, the buzzer coming, and Michael Jordan with Craig Elo trying to track him down, hits it, and Chicago advanced.
You just don't want that to happen. As I say, it's
Who's that guy, by the way?
Who is that? With all the hair.
Doug Collins excited as well. He should be. Of course, Michael's had a career high against these guys, too. He had 69 points against Cleveland in 1990.
I just think if Michael gets in the one-on-one situation, and you just know he is, you just have to come with a strong, aggressive double team. Force him to give it up. Now, the real question for Cleveland right now is who do you leave to come to double team?
Here we go. You see the time remaining. It's deadlocked at 101.
Good job, Gerald Wilkins. Well, you just have to come. You just have to come.
2.5 seconds. Jordan again.
And you just have to come.
He has done it again. Almost from the same spot.
Well, you know, you don't take the ball out of his hands. You give you a chance. Give a chance for things like that to happen.
He is amazing.
And this has happened far too many times.
This series has ended on another remarkable effort by Michael Jordan. At the buzzer.
I mean, he just stands there. Cleveland stays back. They don't run anyone at him to force him to give it up. You give him this much time, and this is what's going to happen.
103-101 Chicago, and now they head on to the Eastern Conference Final. And Michael Jordan, just before you hit that shot, we showed your shot in 1969.
Well, you know, I had an opportunity. I got to give Gerald Wilkins some credit. You know, he played a hell of a defensive play on me. He made me take a tough shot. You know, I made the tough shot. You know, we won the last shot, and fortunately, it went down for me.
Well, let's look at it again. 31 points, Michael. You had 24 in the second half. Let's look at it once again.
Well, he knocks the ball away right here, which kind of knocks my rhythm off, and then I just had to back him up. and I saw a hot rod coming, and I knew I had 3 seconds and I had to get a shot off.
Michael, I said before the play even developed, everyone, of course, knew it was going to go to you. I said you have to come over, force Michael to give the ball up. Once again, they didn't do that. They give you the chance to win the game again.
Well, I was very surprised that they, once I got the ball, it was 7 seconds. They didn't send someone over to double team me. And it gave me some room to work. And by the time they sent a second guy over there, I had the room for the shot.
Well, Michael, you said, I want to take care of business. I want to end this thing, get healthy, and get ready for the final. Will you accomplish that?
Well, it was a good win for us. We really squandered away a lot of opportunities early, but we stayed in there. We hung in there. Defensively, we got back into the ball game. And you got to give everyone credit, not just myself, but the team. We really have been playing good basketball up to this point.
Well, the last 2 games, you started kind of tentatively with that wrist. But as the game wears on, you seem to get it all back together.
I'm having a tough time getting it loose early. I'm thinking about it more than I want to. And finally, in the second half, I just let it go, And I got to get healthy so I don't think about it in the first half. I got to get out of the blocks quicker.
Now, Michael, I know you haven't had a chance to think about this, but you look to the next round. The Knicks and Charlotte in a very tough series. Which of those 2 teams would you rather play against? I think I know the answer, but I want to hear it from you.
Well, I think most people would pick the Charlotte Hornets, but I think that the challenge is there with the Knicks, and we look forward to the challenge. It's not going to be easy. They got the home court advantage. They got a very talented team. And for some reason, I'm a challenger, and I like to go against the best competition. And certainly the Knicks, I think, is going to win that series, and we look forward to it.
I thought it was interesting in hearing your preparation for this series. You say every game now you look for challenges. You took Gerald Wilkins upon his word in the first game, had 43. You wanted everyone else to get involved in game 2. It seems every game you do something differently. What is your motivation for this next series?
Well, the next series is to try to win one in New York. We know that they were a very strong defensive team, and we're going to have to move the ball quite a bit to make their defense work, and certainly keep Oakley and Mason off the boards and contain Ewing as much as possible.
Well, you guys haven't lost yet in the playoffs.
Well, we're playing good, and we just got to take it game by game.
Michael, thanks for coming over.
Thank you.
All right. It was remarkable. The Bulls trailed by 10 with 9 minutes to go in this ball game, and Jordan with the buzzer-winning shot. 103 to 101. The Cavaliers' season is over, and Chicago advances for the 5th year in a row to the Eastern Conference Finals, awaiting the winner of the Hornets and Knicks. Let's go.